Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you have been here before but haven't subscribed yet, please do so, along with the thumbs ups and your comments. Please drop your comments. I love reading them. They really help me understand where your heads are at, and sometimes you guys give me a lot of good ideas. So please chime in. All right, well, tonight was all about pain. That's right. SNY Knicks tweeted this out, and that is exactly the mood that probably every single Knicks fan is feeling at the moment. Pure pain. That's right. The New York Knicks, for the third time in the last 7 games, have given up a plus 20-point lead and lost. That's right. The Knicks have lost 13 out of the last 16 games. Yep. If that doesn't sound like tanking to you guys, I don't know what does. It's tanking while trying to win. That's the Thibodeau way. Let's tank with the vets. Okay, interesting approach. But then he said that I didn't get to watch the actual post game, but I saw this tweet by Fred Katz. Thibodeau said, "Everything is on the table now." I'm not even sure. Now it is. Now it's on the table. So now it's on the table when you are like this, 9 games under 500, 13 games back. You just lost a 28-point lead to your city rivals, the Brooklyn Nets, without Kyrie, without KD, without Harden, without Simmons. And now is the time where everything's on the table. It's interesting how everything wasn't on the table when you blew a 20-point lead against the Lakers, when you lost a game you should never have lost to the Wizards, which was probably the worst loss, maybe the second worst loss. These losses now, they don't compare, actually, because those other losses, the team actually still had something going, and we had RJ playing. Now, what is the excuse? Well, RJ's not playing. Okay, that's the excuse? Come on. See those two? Thibs thinks, I think he thinks, if he gets us into the play-in, then he can save his job. Well, I'm going to tell you flat out right now, no. What's going to get you to save your job is getting the team to play well and trust each other and feature the younger players on this team. That is what's going to save your job, Tom Thibodeau. Because at this point, I will say this, and I said it in the last recap, something needs to be done. I do believe that it's possible this game might be Tom Thibodeau's last game as the head coach of the New York Knicks. And if he does get let go after this game, it's actually very justifiable. I didn't want it to happen this way. I didn't want it to happen in season. That's a lot of, turmoil and instability. But what are we doing now? What are we doing? What's the whole point? We're rudderless. RJ is the rudder of this team, contrary to popular belief that they think Julius Randle is. It's not. Look at this. We lost all those games with Julius Randle playing his best basketball. That'll tell you. That'll tell you who actually steers this ship emotionally and effort-wise on the court. Now, Randle, once again, gave us some decent numbers. He certainly did. Let's look at this here. Yeah, you can see we lost 111 to 106. Heartbreaker. We were up by 28 points in the fourth quarter. At the 7:54 mark, Cam Reddish hit the second of 2 free throws, and the score at that point was 97 Knicks, 84 Nets. Now the Nets had cut the lead way down by 15 points, down to a 13-point deficit, and they had almost 8 minutes left. I think they were feeling good. They were feeling like, you know what? We saw what the Knicks did before. We saw what they did with Utah. We saw what they did with the Lakers. we know what they're capable of, which is completely going cold. And that's exactly what they did for a 4-minute and 21-second stretch in the fourth quarter, where it matters the most. The Knicks got outscored 15-zip. 15-0. And in the midst of that, what actually broke that was a Randall 20-foot step back jump shot that really had no business going in. But it went in, a shot that I wish he would connect on more. It went in and the score was tied 99-99 at the 3:33 mark. With 3:33 left in the game, the score was still tied 99 all. At home, we were at home. At the 5:57 mark, so about 6 minutes left in the game, the score was 97-91. And IQ was subbed out. That's right. IQ was subbed out, Cam Reddish was subbed out, and Taj was subbed out. And the Knicks were still up by 6. The starters who came back in the game could not hold even that lead. Burks was even though you'll look at the plus minus and be like, hey, what do you mean? He was up here. We'll look at it here. There it is. You can see the game flow. Look at that big, giant bubble right there in that second quarter. The Knicks could not hold that lead, and it killed us. It killed us, honestly. I mean, I'm actually at a loss for words once again. I struggle to see. See, this is the troublesome part. Is we all knew, the fans knew, that if you keep playing these guys too many minutes, we're talking about the older vets, eventually, remember when I made that point about diminishing returns in the last recap? Well, here's an example. You can't hold on to leads because you're overplaying your vets. And I'm going to show you the minutes of the third quarter, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. But before we get to that, just so you guys see that Randall, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 10 of 22, 4 of 8 from the three-point line. He finally had a good three-point shooting game, which is nice. Fournier hit 4 of 12, 33%, 16 points. But the second high scorer in the game was Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley finally woke up offensively tonight. Hit 7 of 10, 4 of 7. He missed a three-point shot that would have, I believe, tied the game late in that with under a minute left, because he was brought back in at the 1 minute and 16 second mark. He was subbed back in for Burks, and the Knicks were down 104-101. So when he left the game, so the Knicks only scored 4 points. 4 points in over 4.5 minutes while IQ was out of the game. But they allowed 13 points to Brooklyn in that stretch. But IQ subbed back in, and they actually were able to cut the lead. I believe they cut the lead down to 1. But then LaMarcus Aldridge hit another jumper from around the free throw line. He hit a couple of those. They hurt. Mitch really wasn't his self tonight. Look, 2 points, 1 of 2. He played 23 minutes. Taj played 25 minutes. Yes, that is not a typo. He played 25 minutes. Sims, once again, a DMP coach's decision. Now, Cam Reddish did play 13 minutes. Obi Toppin played 11 minutes. Look at the points they gave you. 8 points for Obi. Now, Cam didn't really shoot well at all. He actually made some bad shot attempts that were they're going to just get his ass on the bench. He can't do that. You can't do that. When you are fighting for minutes with a stubborn coach like Thibs, you can't make crazy, wild three-point attempts that have no chance of going in, and that's exactly what Cam did. He was 1 of 5 overall, 1 of 3 from behind the arc, but he did get to the free throw line once, so he gave us 5 points. But Taj Gibson, 25 minutes. Alec Burks, 26 minutes, 3 points. 1 of 5 also. 0 for 2 from behind the arc. He did have 5 rebounds and 5 assists. He led the team in assists. The assists were spread out, even though we only had 22. They were spread out pretty well. But don't worry, I'm getting to a key part here. Look at this. Here's the plus minus. So, Taj Gibson, minus 14. Our guy Quentin Grimes was a minus 11. And I'll show you why. Fournier, minus 12. Randall, minus 9. Now, Mitch was a plus 8. Now, this is where the plus minus gets a little funky sometimes. And Obi was a plus 4. And that actually did show. Obi, when he was in the game, the Knicks actually were playing well and holding on to lead or even building the lead. Man. But the Nets, look at Cam Thomas. He did have to take 21 shots to get 21 points and only hit 1 of 5 3-pointers. But he hit big shots in the fourth quarter. Big shots in the fourth quarter. They just killed us. LaMarcus Aldridge, really, it was all about the paint. The Nets outscored us by 10 points in the paint. And even though the fouls were pretty even, 16-17, they went to the free throw line 5 more times than we did. But we were lucky. They only hit 14 of them. They shot 61% from the free throw line, and we shot 89% from the free throw line. We outshot them from the three-point line. We were there. This game was there for us. But it came down to rebounds, second chance opportunities, and points in the paint. Look at that lead. Largest lead was 28, and the largest lead they had was 6, and that's pretty much was the whole story of the game. The Knicks are now 25-34. We are, this feels like a lost season. However, as I said a couple of weeks back, right after the Laker game, the Knicks are kind of in a win-win situation. Because now, if we continue to lose, we're going to be firmly in the lottery, and hopefully we can find some high-level talent to add to this team, some young high-level talent. And if you guys see, there's a theme right now where we got cooked by the OKC rookies. We got cooked tonight by Cam Thomas, another rookie. Rookies have hurt us. Young, athletic players hurt older, plodding vets like we have on this team. Burks has no speed. Taj has no speed. Randall has some speed, but we know he's wild with his handle and creates a lot of turnovers. We just get punished. We get punished, and we deserve it. If this is the rotation that Thibs keeps going with. Now remember, Thibs chose to take IQ out of this game when he was cooking to put Alec, no buckets Burks back into this game, and poof, there went the little bit of lead that the Knicks were holding on to. That 6-point lead just evaporated instantly. Here's the third quarter. Look at Quentin Grimes' minutes. 12. He played the entire third quarter. Look at that. 0 for 1. Randall also played the entire third quarter. 1 of 7. Honestly, and the only reason, look at the plus minus. So Quentin was a minus 7. Randall was a minus 7. The reason that they weren't as bad as Kemba, minus 14, or Fournier, minus 12, or Taj, minus 12, was because, check this out, was because when Quickly came into the game, he was a spark. He gave us 6 points, and that is why, and Grimes and Randall were on the floor while Quickly was on the floor and providing that spark of offense. Quickly played 3 minutes and 47 seconds in that third quarter, but then in the fourth, he played an additional 7:19. But remember, the 1:19 of that was towards the very end after he subbed back in for Burks. So he played an additional 6 minutes, and 3 of 5. He missed his 2 3-pointers in that fourth quarter. But look at that. The Knicks only scored 19 points. So the Knicks scored 19 points there, 22 in the third, only 41 points in the second half. You can't win an NBA game if you only score 41 points and a half. That's just the reality of the three-point world. Nobody was doing anything in that second half other than Quickly, offensively. And defensively, they just laid down in that third quarter. The Nets came out with intensity. They upped their intensity, and the Knicks let theirs sag, and then the lead just vanished, just like David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear. It was just gone. Just gone. And we were all asking, where'd it go? Except there was nothing thrilling about it for Knicks fans. Not at all. Randall did manage to hit a couple of buckets there, some that had no business going in, but look, he was a minus 18 in that fourth quarter. Burks, minus 16. Wow. There really isn't too much more to say about this other than I do believe that I think we have to move on from Tom Thibodeau. He has not earned he has not earned the right to continue coaching this team for the rest of the year, because we have already been needing to shift the focus from this team for at least 2 months now. Back in December is when we should have shifted the focus to the younger players and featuring them. Now we have Cam also on this team. We need to find out what they have, what they can offer. We need to see if Obi can actually become a player. Luckily, IQ finally woke up. Maybe he can carry this over. Maybe he can close the rest of this year on a hot streak. But it only happens if they get minutes. And we already know what the vets are going to give us. More 20-point lead evaporation. And now it's time for Tom Thibodeau to evaporate from the Knicks world. That's it. I'm calling for it. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this. My name is George. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the thumbs ups. Drop your comments. I want to hear if you guys agree with me or disagree with me about the Tom Thibodeau situation and any other thoughts you might have. All right, we're going into the All-Star break now. I keep making it seem like I'm about to sign up, but then I remember something else I have to say. We're going into the All-Star break now. Obi's going to be in the dunk contest. I hope he wins. The Knicks don't play again until next Friday, February 25th. It doesn't look like Derrick Rose will be available for that. He has not even been scheduled to practice yet. He's not ready. Thibs did say today that RJ will be coming back on the 25th. Let's hope that's true. But let's hope that someone else will not be coming back on the 25th. Fingers crossed. I will be putting out more videos even during the break, so stay tuned for that. That's why it's important to turn on the notification bell. They'll tell you, and turn on notifications itself to tell you when I actually post. Okay, thank you so much. Thumbs ups. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.